So I'm gonna go over some trades I've had the past couple days over the first 2 days of December, and kind of go over what's gone wrong in them. I've lost both those trades, and kind of like why I think they've been going this way, and it all really has to do with my setup. So this is like an A plus plus setup for me that I needed to look for, and that is not what I got today. And I think that's partially to do with why I lost the trade. This was perfect. It was within New York session, obviously, right when market opened. We had this really smooth liquidity sweep to the upside, taking out in London session, and then we had a very strong move down, breaking structure to the downside, and we were within equilibrium. And I just had a really tight stop loss on this. Now, I'm not expecting myself to make this kind of a trade every single time, but this is the general setup that I have to see in order to execute my trade. And today I did not get that. So I'll go over kind of what I saw today. These were two trades I took. I thought this would be a slightly better entry. I was literally like a couple dollars off take profit here, and then moved my stop loss to break even, and then we ended up hitting break even stop loss. But what I saw here was this hourly liquidity getting swept. So right here we had this high within London session get taken out, and then we had a really strong move down. But the problem was I did not catch it early enough. So if I caught it right here, obviously it would have smashed take profit, but I didn't catch it until here, and that has partially to do with how early this was within New York session. So because of this being, so early within New York session, I'm not really even looking at the charts necessarily yet. Keeping an eye on where price is, but I'm not really looking at it. And I think that was something that definitely affected my trade today. But most of the confluences I follow were there at least. So we had this very, very nice bearish order block right here that price returned into. Right, obviously, right within here, we had price return right into it. And then what do we get here? Break of structure to the downside. And this, again, would have been absolutely perfect if I were to have been able to enter over here. But unfortunately, I wasn't. I wasn't even looking at the charts. So, if we look on Forex Factory here, we have a lot of news this week. We have JOLTS today. We have three red folders tomorrow. Non-farm employment change at 8:15, PMI at 10. And then obviously we have that Powell speaks in the afternoon. We have unemployment Thursday. Friday is just a fucking show. So it is a tough week to trade. I haven't started a funded challenge yet, and it's probably a good thing because this week probably is not the best time to start one of those. But I'm still working. I'm still treating this like a funded challenge. So I started with obviously $50,000 in this account. I'm up 1,300 so far. With two losses this week, I've had much better um, risk rewards overall. I've tightened up that stop loss, but overall I've had really good entries. And this happened the past the four trades I had that one in a row were four really good trades, and I'll show you guys those right here. So these four right here were like A plus setups, and that was part of this one. Part of this trade right here was that A plus setup, and I had four of these in a row. So I won all four of those trades. Now, is this gonna like happen every single time? No, but it seems to work, significantly better than when I, try to enter off this bullshit right here. So I mean, there was a slight retracement up. There was a decently strong move down. Still wouldn't even hit take profit if I entered at the top of this damn candle. So, uh, it's all about entries, and I think that's really important with trading. Like if you are, I'm heavily on the liquidity sweeps. You got to snag these things at the top here, and that's kind of, it's kind of hard to consistently get those for sure. They don't happen necessarily every single day, especially on the hourly time frame. For sure, they do not. They obviously happen on smaller time frames, but I strictly stick with those hourly liquidity sweeps. So, I'll go over a bunch of these examples of them, specifically on the other days. I mean, we had this right here, London session. What do? We took out these highs. We had a really strong move down. This was like the beginning of New York session here. I took a short here. I do remember that because it filled this opening week gap here. Again, we have one right here. What do? Take it out. We move down again. What do? Take it out. This was like afternoon session of New York, but what do? We take these out and move down. So that's what a lot of my setup has to do with. And then obviously it happens on the downside too, right? Like we get these get swept here. We had a fairly strong move up. I don't know what the hell that movement is, but here we got Asia session. What do? Take it out, move up, and then obviously end of London session here too. Even right here, we get a sweep up. So it's not going to happen every single time, but that's something I heavily look for in my trades. And if that's what I think is has helped a lot is if I do not get these hourly liquidity sweeps here, like these are some really nice lows. I think price is 100% going to come back to these right here, a couple some equal lows right there. Then obviously we have the strong order block. So what we could see is, price eventually, when one of these days comes back within here, we have a really, really nice order block right here. Now that's what I also think I've been struggling with a little bit is these are those really, really nice textbook order blocks right here. And then we have these ones here, which are just like really, really large. Obviously it's a big price range. I did take a short, I remember around here based off of this candle because I remember I didn't even bother marking it out because we had this liquidity sweep to the upside here. It was right here. We had this liquidity sweep up and I caught some sort of a move to the downside over here within this red candle and I didn't even bother marking it because that order block was so large. Now, it's not necessarily that it's a bad order block. I just don't really like the look of them. I love the look of this order block right here. This one candle and a really strong move up. We have these two candles, really strong move up. So a lot of it has to do with my setup, just not being A plus, getting a little antsy today for sure. But overall, I think my bias will be correct on it eventually becoming bearish because we had this huge imbalance left from New York session and only a little bit of it got tapped into. So entries are huge. I think for me, I didn't quite get the entry I wanted to today. And I think that has to partake in why I did not get the greatest results. But again, that's trading. You're not going to win 100% of the time.